This is the lecture for November 20th in PS30. I'm going to post this on like YouTube or something, so you should be able to see it there. This is the lecture for November 20th. Okay. So last time we talked about different voting procedures, and the main idea was that there's no voting procedure which is itself the best. They're all different, and they all have different qualities, pluses and minuses. And it's naive to think that there's just one best procedure, and if we just figure that one out, all the problems of the world will be solved. So, in other words, there are a lot of different voting procedures which are consistent with democracy, which are consistent with everyone having a vote and everyone having a say. But even within those guidelines, even if everyone has a say and everyone's treated equally, there's a very large set of different kinds of voting procedures you can use, and they favor different parties. So, in other words, you might think that democracy is about fighting over outcomes, about contesting different points of view, but what that ends up coming down to often is contesting the procedures. So not just contesting the outcomes, but contesting the procedures. So again, there's no obviously best or most democratic voting procedure. Depending on what procedure you use, you might get quite different outcomes. So what we're going to talk about today is this idea of agenda setting. So if you can choose a procedure, you have a great deal of power. So in other words, since there's no obviously best procedure, and every procedure has a different outcome, if you can control the outcome, or if you can choose a procedure, you have a great power. And that general topic is called agenda setting. If you were the agenda setter, that is, if you can control or if you can determine how people make a decision, then you can have great influence. Okay, so let's start with an example of a Condorcet cycle again. So remember, in the Condorcet cycle, we have three candidates, A, B, and C. So again, what does this mean? This means that person 1 likes A best, B middle, and C worst. Person 2 likes C best, A in the middle, and B worst. Person 3 likes B best, C in the middle, A worst. Okay, so remember the thing about the Condorcet cycle is everything is beaten by majority. So like if you look at A versus B, A beats B, right? Because person 1 likes A better than B and person 2 likes A better than B. So a majority, that is 2 out of 3 people, like A better than B. So A beats B by majority rule. If we had a vote between A and B, 1 and 2 would vote for A, 3 would vote for B. So a majority, that is 2 out of 3 people, would vote for A over B. A beats B by majority rule. Okay, how about B and C? Well, if you look at B and C, person 1 would vote for B over C. And I guess person 3 would also. So 1 and 3 would like B better than C, so therefore majority prefers B over C. B would beat C by majority rule. Finally, what about C and A? I think we have C beating A by majority rule. Like for person 2 and 3, they like C better than A, so majority people, that is 2 out of 3, like C better than A. Okay, this is a cycle because A beats B. Okay, B beats C and C beats A. So everything is beaten by something else, right? A is beaten by C, C is beaten by B, and B is beaten by A again. So you can have this kind of cycle. That's a Condorcet cycle. Okay, so say that we have an agenda, so that I'm controlling the agenda of how we get to vote. So it's fair in the sense that every alternative will come up to a vote. Our agenda looks like this. Say that we first vote on A versus B, then the winner goes up against C. Okay, so this is a fair vote. Everything could win, right? I'm not excluding anything. So if we first vote on A versus B, so say I'm the agenda setter, I'm like the Speaker of the House. I say that we first vote on A versus B, and then the winner goes up against C. So if I make that into like a little tree diagram, the idea is this is the first vote, and we first vote between A and B. And if A wins, then we make another vote between A and C. And if like A wins again, then we'll choose A. Okay. If C wins that second vote, then C will win. If B wins the first vote, and then again we take the winner, that is B versus C. The winner goes up against C. So if B wins the first vote, and then if B wins the second vote, then B will be chosen, etc. Okay. So what happens here? Okay, what's the prediction? So the idea here is that people are going to look ahead. They're going to anticipate the future. So the idea is between A and C, remember we said, I think C beats A, right? So the majority at this point will vote for C, right? So remember, A beats B beats C, and C beats A. So at this vote, or node, C will beat A, right? So I'm going to put up an arrow there. Okay, remember, because C beats A. A majority of people would vote for C over A. How about here? This is B versus C. Now remember, majority of people like B better than C. So at this point, they'll vote for B. Okay, now going back to their very first vote, okay, they could vote for A or vote for B, but they know that if they vote for A will go up against C, and then C will be chosen, right? They look ahead. Okay, this is like backward induction. If they vote for A, they know that A will go up against C and C will win. So if they vote for A, then they will get C in the end. If they vote for B, they know that B will beat C. So if they vote for B, they'll get B in the end, right? So at this first node, what do they choose? They're basically choosing between C, that is if they vote for A, the C will eventually win, or B. And I think we have B beats C, so at this first node, this first vote, okay, they'll vote for B. Okay, does that make sense? The idea is sometimes people say voters are forward-looking, or they anticipate the future. Okay, they're not myopic. They vote strategically. Okay, so in this agenda, again, if they voted for A in the first round, they would end up with C. Okay, if they vote for B in the first round, they end up with B. So in this very first voting round, they're essentially voting between B and C. B beats C, so they're going to vote for B. Okay, this makes sense. So in this agenda, B wins. The group chooses B. Okay, how about another agenda? First, you vote on B versus C, and then the winner goes up against A. Okay, again, every candidate can win. Okay, but let's consider this agenda. Okay, so in this this node here, okay, what's the prediction? Let's see. Okay, in this node, well, I guess let's write that again. A beats B, B beats C, C beats A. Okay, so in this node here, A beats B, so they're going to choose A here, right? In this node, in this vote, C beats A, so they're going to vote for C. And in this one again, they're essentially choosing between, if they voted for B, B would lose to A in the end. So they're essentially, if they vote for B here, they'll get A. If they vote for C here, they'll get C. Okay. So in this first node, this first vote, they're basically choosing between C and A. So therefore, since C beats A, they're going to vote for C. Okay. So again, if they vote for B in the first round, they end up with A. That's up here. If they vote for C in the first round, they end up with C. Okay. So the majority will choose C in the first round. The group chooses C. Okay. So in this agenda, the group chooses C. C wins. Okay. So how about this agenda? In this one, we first vote on A or not. If A wins, we say A wins. But if A loses in the first vote, then we choose between B and C. So the way to think about this is like we first do a vote on A or not. And if A loses, then we choose among the alternatives left over, B and C. Okay. How about in this agenda, who wins? Okay, remember A beats B, B beats C, and C beats A in my cycle. Okay, at this node, right, at this last vote, B beats C. Okay, because again, a majority of people like B better than C, so we'll choose B here. How about here? In their first vote, they're choosing between A, but if they know that if A goes down, if A is defeated, they'll choose B in the end, right? So at this point, they're choosing between A and B. And the majority of people like A better than B, so majority will vote here for A. Okay? So in this agenda, the group chooses A. Okay, does this make sense? Okay, so I think, let's see. If you look back at our old example, let's see. This is the first example, right? In this one, I think the group chose B, right? Okay, so in this agenda, B wins. Okay, in the second example, C wins. Okay, right? In our last example, A wins. Okay, so depending on the agenda, we can get either A, B, or C to be chosen by a majority. Okay, so in this particular example, if you can choose the agenda, you can choose the outcome, essentially. The agenda setter has a lot of power. So again, if you control the agenda, you can control the outcome. Let's do another example. Okay, this is where there's 4 alternatives. Notice that D is in there, but everyone doesn't like D. Okay, D is the worst choice for everybody. So A beats B, B beats C, C beats A. That's kind of like in our previous example. And everything beats D. Okay, so let's look at this agenda. First, we vote on B or not. If B loses, then we vote on D or not. If D loses, then we vote on A versus C. Okay, so this is our first node, sorry, first vote. B or not. If B loses, then we vote for D. If D loses, then we vote on A versus C. So all alternatives are possible. Every alternative has a fighting chance. Okay, so what happens here, again, remember, these are my majority relations. Remember, this means A beats B by majority, B beats C, C beats A, everything beats D. Okay, so what happens here in this vote goes between C and A, right? C beats A. Okay, so they vote for C here, majority votes for C here. How about this node here? This is D versus C, right? If they vote for D, they'll get D. If they vote against D, in the end, they'll get C, right? So with this node, they're going to vote for not, right? Because they'll get C instead of D, so they're going to go not here. Finally, at the first node, if they vote for B, they'll get B. If they vote against B, then in the end, they'll get C. So they're choosing between B this way or C in this direction. Okay, then we have B beats C, so they'll vote for B. Okay, because in this agenda, they'll choose B. Okay. Now let's see, can we make an agenda which ensures that A is chosen? Okay, remember these are our majority rule relations. Okay, let's check this one out. Can we make A win in this agenda? Okay, let's look at the back. No, the last vote. This is between C and D. Remember, everything beats D, so in this last node, I think C will win. How about here? If they vote for B, they'll get B. If they vote not, in the end, they'll get C. B beats C. So down here, they're going to vote for B. Finally, at the very first vote, they can either vote for A and get A. If they don't vote for A, they'll get B. A beats B, so they'll vote for A. So in this agenda, they choose A. Okay. All right. So I think we had an agenda which chose B, right? That was the one. Let's see. Okay, in our first agenda, I think we had B wins, right, down here. In our second agenda, we have A winning. Okay, can I make C win? Let's think about that. Okay, let's check out this agenda. Here between B and D, who wins? Again, B beats D because no one likes D. Now we're choosing between A or not. If they vote for A, they'll get A. If they vote against A, they'll get B in the end. I think A beats B, so they'll vote for A here. And finally, in the first node, they vote for C versus A. And I think C beats A, right? So they'll vote for C there. In this agenda, they choose C. Okay, so we're able to find an agenda which got B to win, an agenda which got A to win, and one which got C to win. Can we make an agenda which ensures that D is chosen? Okay, again, these are my majority rule relations. Can I make D win in some agenda? Think about it. I mean, we can try lots of different agendas, but then you realize it's not going to be possible because for D to be chosen in some agenda, D has to beat something, right? D has to beat has to win at least one vote, right? But D will never win a vote against anything, right? Because all the other alternatives, the majority prefers to D. A majority will never vote for D over any other alternatives. Okay, so for D to be chosen, it has to beat some other outcome but majority, but it doesn't. Okay, so this is an example where the agenda setter's power is limited. That is, the agenda setter can either get A to be chosen, B to be chosen, or C. Okay, but it can get D. In other words, the agenda setter's power is not unlimited. It can't force people to vote for something which everyone hates. Okay, so you have a lot of powers as the agenda setter, but it's not unlimited. Let's look at another example. How about this? So this is, I think, again, with A, B, C, and D. Here, D now does a little better. Okay, D is now not the last worst hated thing by everyone. Okay, person 3 likes D, for example, fair amount. Okay, do you think I can get D to happen in some agenda? Okay, well, think about it. D is not universally hated. However, still, you can't get D to win, right? Because D, if you look at it, D still doesn't beat anything, right? D doesn't beat A, D doesn't beat B, or D doesn't beat C. So you can't get D to win because D has to beat something, right? Even in this case, D doesn't beat anything. We can't get D to happen in any agenda. Okay, how about this example? This is, we have 5 alternatives, A, B, C, D, and E. Okay. Can I get E to happen? Can you look at where E is? He's here and here, and you realize one way to think about it is look at the things which are below the E's. And for E to beat something by majority, there has to be 2 of something below the E's, right? So, right, if there was like a B here, there'd be 2 B's, then E would beat B by majority, right? If there's a B here, okay? But it doesn't, so E doesn't beat anything, right? E doesn't beat anything. E doesn't beat A, that is 2 people like A better than E. E does not beat B, 2 people like B better than E, 1, 3. E doesn't beat C, and E does not beat D. Okay, so E doesn't beat anything, so no matter what I do with my agenda, there's no way I can get E to win, right? Okay. How about this? Can the agenda setter ensure a D? Okay, so D is not too bad. It's somebody's second choice. Okay, it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay. Can I get D to happen if I control the agenda the right way? Okay. So I really like D myself, and I'm trying to set it up so that the people will vote for D. Can I get D to happen? Let's think about it a little bit. For D to win, right, D has to beat something, right? Okay, so these are my D's. What does D beat? Well, D beats E, right? All 3 people like D better than E. D does not beat A, right? 1 and 2 like D better than A. D does not beat B. 1 and 3 like B better than D. D does not beat C. 1 and 2 like C better than D. So D beats E, but D does not beat anything else. Another way to see this is, again, look at the ones which are below D. The only thing which appears more than once is E, right? Okay, C and A and B only appear once. E is the only one which appears twice. For D to beat something with majority, there have to be at least 2 things below D, like 2 entries below D. Okay. Now, D beats E, but nothing else. Can the agenda setter ensure D? Well, to make D win, D has to go up against a vote against what? Well, it can only go up against E because E is the only thing that D beats, right? If D ever goes up against A, B, or C, D will lose. So D has to beat E. You have to have for D to win, they have to vote for D against E. You got to pair up D with E. Okay. But is that the only thing? Well, let's see. D beats something, D beats E, right? But it's not enough that D beats E, right? Because for D to be chosen, D has to beat E, but E has to survive other votes. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if D kind of, if you vote for D, if D beats E, then E has to survive some process, right? E would never survive a process with A, B, and C in there. Another way to say it is, okay, if you vote for D early on, then D has to go up against E, and then E has to survive the votes against A, B, and C. If you put D late, that is like late in the agenda, maybe D will beat E, but then D will have to survive A, B, and C, right? So the punchline is this. I just put up. I'll put it up again. For the agendas that are to be able to ensure an outcome, that outcome must beat another, which beats another, which beats another, etc., until all outcomes are beaten. Okay, so if I'm asking the question, what can the agenda setter enforce? It can enforce all those outcomes which beat something, which beats something, which beats something, etc., until everyone is beaten. Okay. So in this case, even though D beats E, the agenda setter cannot enforce D because E doesn't beat anything. You see what I'm saying? So D can beat E, but that's not really that useful because E doesn't beat anything. Okay. What the agenda setter can ensure is either A, B, or C, because from those outcomes, you can do a thing where A beats something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, such that all the other things are beaten. Does A beats something, beats something, beats something, etc., and that thing can include everybody. Okay. This is the picture kind of what we have is E is the worst, right? E doesn't beat anything, right? D beats something, but the only thing it beats is E. Okay. A, B, and C all beat D and E, okay, but A, B, and C are not like invincible. But they beat each other, right? So it's not like we have one thing which beats everyone else. However, A, B, and C are kind of in a top group. Okay. They're not undefeated, okay, but they can beat everyone else in sequence. That is, for example, what does this mean? This means that, for example, A can beat B, which beats C, which beats D, which beats E. Okay. The arrow means like D can beat E, right? So similarly, like C can beat C can beat A, which beats B, which beats D, which beats E. Okay, so this is like the top group. Again, D beats E, and A and B and C all beat D. Okay. And this is the result. So given people's preferences, we say that an outcome is in the top cycle if it can beat another outcome, which beats another outcome, and so forth until all outcomes are beaten in sequence. Okay? That's the top cycle. If an outcome is in the top cycle, then an agenda setter can ensure that it will be chosen. So if the outcome is not in the top cycle, then it will never be chosen regardless of the agenda. So what the top cycle is exactly those alternatives which the agenda setter can enforce. If it's not in the top cycle, no matter what you do with the agenda, you can't get it to win. But if it's in the top cycle, if you choose the agenda correctly, you can get it to win. Okay. Here's a big example. I think we have 6 alternatives, 3 people. Okay. I'll illustrate my top cycle thing. Okay, so who beats who? And this is just a computational thing, right? So let's just do A. If I look at A, A's here, A's here, here. So if I look at A versus B, I think B beats A. Yeah, for example, 1 and 3 like B better than A. C beats A, right? 1 and 2 like C better than A. I think D beats A, yeah. 2 and 3 like D better than A. E beats A, 2 and 3 like E better than A. And F beats A, 2 and 3 like F better than A. Another way you can see it is like look at the A's and look at the things which are below the A's. Here's an F, E, D, a D, and a C, but nothing appears twice. That is, for A to be beat by something majority, the things below it have to appear at least. An entry below it must appear twice. A does not beat anything. Okay, how about B? I think B beats, of course, A. B and C, I think 1 and 3 like B better than C, so B beats C. How about B and D? 1 and 2 like B better than D, so B beats D. B and E, 1 and 3 like B better than E. And B and F, well here F, 2 and 3 like F better than B, so F beats B. Okay, so you can kind of keep on doing this, right? You find that A doesn't beat anything, B beats A, C, D, and E. And this is just computation. C beats A, D, and F. D beats A, E beats A, C, and D. F it beats A, B, D, and E. Okay. All right, so if you kind of just look at these things, like, you think I'll be able to get A to win in an agenda? Well, no, because A doesn't beat anything. How about D? D beats A, right? But that's not useful because A doesn't beat anything else, right? So you can't get D. To get D in an agenda, D would have to beat A, but then A would never survive the process of going up against anyone else. Okay. How about the other things? How about like B? Is B in the top cycle? Remember the definition of the top cycle is something's in the top cycle if it can beat something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, such that everything is in there. Okay, so can I do that? For example, B beats C, right? C beats F. F beats E. E beats D, yeah. D beats A. See what I'm saying? So we have a sequence where B beats something, which beats something, which beats something, such that everything is included. Okay. Anyway, we have this picture. So again, if you go back, whoops. Okay. Okay. A is obviously the bottom. A doesn't beat anything. D is kind of just next to the bottom. Okay. And so the rest of them, B, C, E, and F, they're in a cycle. Okay, they're kind of in a top group. In this case, this is the top cycle. Okay, the top cycle is F, C, B, and E. Okay. Let's see. Let's do the example. Maybe I can I do that? Oh, where's my stickies? Okay, where's my, oh. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let's see. This is B in the top cycle. B, get bigger. That's probably enough. Let's do 13. Okay. Let's see if B is in the top cycle. In the definition again, I can have B beats I guess I could have B beats A, but that's not useful, right? Because I need to B needs to beat something which can beat something else. So B beats C. That's this. B beats C. C beats F. Right? C beats F. That's here. F beats E, right? And E beats D. E beats which beats A. So do you see? I can have a sequence B beats C, which beats F, which beats E, which beats D, which beats A. Okay. So if I can make this sequence, which includes everyone, that means B is in the top cycle. Can I make the sequence with C? Because can I do C beats something, which beats something, etc. C beats maybe F. Yeah, C beats F. Yeah. Which beats E, which beats, I think we need to get B beaten, right? F beats E, C beats B. Oh, maybe we should do F beats B. Okay, F beats B. Right, there we go. Right, F beats B. And then B beats E. Right, B beats E. And E beats D. And D beats A. Okay. Makes sense? Okay, let's see. How about D? Oh, sorry, no, D is clearly not in the top cycle because D only beats A. How about E? Can I make that sequence? E beats C, right? E beats C. C beats F. F beats B. And B beats D, which beats A. Okay. Finally, what about F? F beats B, I guess. There might be other sequences. You just have to find one, right, to make it in the top cycle. B beats, hold on, maybe E. I need to go to E. B beats E. E beats, I guess I need to get rid of C. C. E beats C. C beats D and beats A. D beats A. Does this make sense? So this is the definition. Remember, something's a top cycle if it can beat something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, etc., 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 such that everything is included. Okay. So B is in the top cycle, C is in the top cycle, E is in the top cycle, F is in the top cycle, because I can create that little sequence. How about D? Can I create the sequence with D? Well, notice, look, D beats A. That's the only thing it beats, and then, you know, obviously A doesn't beat anything, right? So I can't do the thing with A, with D. So D is not in the top cycle. How about A? Well, obviously A does not beat anything, so A is not in the top cycle. Here the top cycles B, C, E, and F. Make sense? Okay. And this is our picture. And sometimes the way I like to think about it is it's kind of like sports teams. So obviously, if there's a team which can beat literally everybody else, then that team is the best one. Okay, but usually don't have that. Usually have no one is undefeated, right? So everybody can beat somebody. So this, for example, means that B could beat E and C, but B is beaten by F. Okay, so who would be the best in some sense, right? Well, obviously A is not the best because A does not beat anybody, right? D can beat somebody that is A, but that doesn't mean that much because D only beats something beats a team which is pretty bad, right? So these are the ones, the top cycles are the ones which are the teams which kind of are in the running, or you could argue that they could be the best because they could beat somebody which beats somebody which beats somebody, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and everyone's included, right? So that's what it means sort of to be in the top group. It's like you might not be undefeated, but you can beat somebody which beats somebody which beats somebody such that everyone is beaten in the end. Okay. So again, the top cycle is F, C, B, and E. Okay, that's like, remember what was our little thingy? Okay, that's because I can create these sequences, yeah, F, C, E, and B. Okay. How about this example? Okay, nope, give you the punchline here. Okay, let's think about how to do all this. Okay, so how do I figure out what the top cycle is here? I'm making a new one. Okay, oops. Okay. First thing I do is I figure out all the majority rules, right? So okay, let's do A versus B. A versus B. 1 and 2 like A better than B, so A beats B. How about A versus C? I think, yeah, 1 and 3 like A better than C. A and D. 1 and 3 like A better than D. A and E. A, yeah, 1 and 3 like A better than E. And A and F. Oh, okay, 2 and 3 like F better than A, so F is better than A. F beats A. Okay, I think that's it, right? A, B, C, D, and F. Okay, How about B and C? 1 and 3 like B better than C, so B beats C. B and D. 1 and 2 like D better than B. So we have this, D better than B. But B and E. 2 and 3 like E better than B, so I have E better than B. But B and F. I think 1 and 3 like F better than B. Okay, so that's that. How about C and A? I think 1 and 3 like A better than C. Oh, we have that already. Sorry, A and C, right? C and B. So then you need to do C and D, right? C and D is what? D is better than C, right? 1 and 2 like D better than C. No, actually. Is that right? No, actually, all 3 like D better than C. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. How about D and E? 1 and 2 like D better than E, so D's better than E. Okay, how about D and F? I think 1 and 2 like D better than F. Okay. Okay, how about E? I think we just have to do E and F, right? F is better than E. Did I do them all? Hold on a sec. There's, how many alternatives are there? There's 6, right? So it should be 6 times 5 divided by 2. There should be 15 of these little guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Give me just a few. A, B, A, C, A, D, A, F. Okay. B, C, B, D. Oh, we didn't do B and D. Oh, yeah, we did. B and D. B, E. Oh, we didn't do B and E, sorry. B is, yeah, E beats B. Oh, we have that too. B and F. Oh, F beats B. Okay. How about C and D? That's here. C and, oh, C and E. Okay, yeah, we can do that one. C beats E. 1 and 2 like C better than E. And C and F, that's the one we didn't do. I think 1 and 3 like F better than C, so F beats C. I think we're done. How many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15. Okay, so we have 15. That's right. Okay. So I think these are all we have. Okay. So let's check what's in the top cycle. Is A in the top cycle? Can I make that little sequence? Okay. Well, A beats what? Okay, clearly the ones which are kind of the ones you have to beat earlier kind of are the A, D, and F, right? So I think A beats D, right? We need to get rid of D. A beats D. D beats F, yeah? D beats F. And F beats, no, now it's easy because F beats C, yeah? Which beats E, which beats B. And that's it, right? A beats something, which beats something, which beats something, which beats something, and then we have all 6 in a line. So A is in the top cycle. How about B is in the top cycle? Well, the only thing B beats is C. And then after, the only thing which C beats is E. Whoops. Right from here, the only thing C beats is E. And then the only thing E beats is B. So you see, I can't get out of that group. I can't get into the A, D, and F. Do you see what I'm saying, right? Okay, so I'm just stuck in my B, C, and E thing. So I can't get out of that, right? I can't rule out other things. So B is not in the top cycle, right? Okay, how about C? Well, C, the only thing C beats is E, right? Up here. E beats B. That's the only thing E beats, and then B beats C, and then I can get out of it, so that C is not in the top cycle. How about D? D beats, I think I want to make D go up against F. Yeah. I could do D beats B, but like, what's the point of that? Because B doesn't, B beats C, and then I'm stuck, right? So I would want to do D beats, I think F. Yeah, D beats F. Then F beats A, because again, I need to get rid of these kind of contenders first. F beats A. And then A beats what? C. Yeah, now these are easy. So A beats C, which beats E, which beats B. Okay, so D is in the top cycle. How about E? Okay, E beats B. That's the only thing it beats. And B beats C. And then we have this thing. You can't get out of that, right? C only beats E, so, no way. E is not in the top cycle. How about F? F beats... 1 second, sorry. Where am I? F beats... here we go. F beats A, maybe? Let's do that. Which beats, F beats A beats D, and then D beats, oh, no, let's see, D beats C, right? Whoops. Which beats E, which beats F. Okay, makes sense. So here the top cycle is A, D, and F. Okay. Okay, so the picture looks like this. Okay, so A, D, and F are in the top cycle. They're kind of like the top group. They're not undefeated, but so in other words, they can beat each other. Everyone's beaten by somebody, right? This is another cycle down here, but it's the lower cycle. It's not the top cycle, right? They can all beat each other. Everyone can beat somebody, right? And no one is undefeated, but these people cannot beat any of the people in this top group, whereas these people can beat somebody who beats somebody, beats somebody, etc., which beats, in the end, everyone. Okay, does that make sense? So this is the top group. That's the top cycle. Okay. All right. So, one thing. Let's see. Can I do this? If I want, what would the agenda be? Which, like for example, if I wanted to make an agenda which enforces A, which gets A to win. Can I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? Let me see if I can. Can I do that? Okay, let me. Hold on a sec. Get my camera out. Okay, let's see. How do I do this? What am I doing? Let's see. Here we go. Am I on? It's going. Here we go. Okay. Well, what's going on here? Oh. Okay. Let's try this again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now, how do I make this smaller? Smaller? Okay. So going back, this is my original thing, right? These are my preferences of my voters. And these are my little notes about who beats what, right? And we said that A, D, and F are in the top cycle. B, C, and E are not. Okay. Now let's see. How do I? Yeah, here we go. Okay. So how do I make it so that I'm gonna get rid of this too? Can I do it? Yeah, good. Okay. If this is my thing, how do I make it so that A wins? What agenda would make A win? Okay, so we have A beats D, which beats F, whoops, which beats C, which beats E, which beats B. So an agenda which would make A win would look like this. It's pretty simple, right? So if we vote for A or not, then D or not, then F or not, then C or not, and finally between E and B. Okay? So the way it works is this. Between E and B, who would win? Well, E beats B, right? So go like this. Between C and not, it's between C and E. C beats E, so we go this. Between F and not, F beats C, right? We have F beats C, so go like this. Between here in this vote, D and not, right? D beats F, so we go down here. Finally, here it's between A and not, so A beats D, boom, right? So given I have this sequence, I just throw those things in this little agenda, and then in this agenda, A wins, right? A wins. Okay, does that make sense? So in this agenda, A wins. This is the agenda I would use, or one of the agendas I could use to make A win. Okay, and I got it just from the sequence. It's pretty simple. Okay, how could I make B win? Okay, let's see. Well, if I'm making B win, remember B beats C beats E, which beats actually nothing. So think about it. B would have to go up against C, which would have to go up against E, but then A, D, and F has to be somewhere in here, right? So there's no way E will no way they'll vote for E over A, D, and F, right? Because E doesn't, up here, E doesn't beat A, D, and F. The A, D, and F all beat E, right? So there's no way E can survive. So that you can see, just because I cannot create this sequence, I can't get B to win. Another way to see it is like, look, it's possible maybe say that E will be the last one, right? E and C. So I would choose between C and E, and C would be B. C would be E, and then B beats C, for example, so I can get that to happen. But then my A, D, and F has to be here somewhere, right? And then A, D, and F all beat B, right? B doesn't beat those folks, so there's no way B could survive that either. You see? So I can't create this sequence, so there's no way I can get B to win in this agenda. Okay. Similarly here, C doesn't have that sequence, so, it's not in the top cycle. Let's get rid of those guys. How about D? Okay, see, D beats F, which beats A, which beats C, which beats E, C, which beats B. Okay, so how do I make that agenda? I think it's this. This B. Okay, so you can see I just take that sequence and throw it in here. E beats B, so they'd vote for E in this vote. Between C and not, they're choosing between C and E, so C beats E, right? So we go down here. Between A and not, they're choosing between A and C. A beats C, so go like this. F beats A, so we'll go like this, etc. D beats F. Okay, this agenda would make D win. Okay, and we can do it because D is in the top cycle. We can create the sequence. That is, being in the top cycle means you can create the sequence. Okay, so that's how we can make D win. We can't make E win, right? Because he's not in the top cycle. Finally, let's do F. F beats A, which beats D, which beats C, which beats E, which beats... Oh, I think I made a mistake. I forgot, where's my B? Oh yeah, E beats B, this should be B. Okay. Which beats B. Okay, how do I make that agenda? Okay, just like that. Okay, between B and E, E wins, right? Between C and E, C wins. Between D and C, D wins. Between A and D, A wins. Between F and A, F wins. So here F wins. Yay. Okay. So I'm going all the way back. Let's see, where am I? This. Okay, given these preferences, the first thing I do is figure out who beats what, right? That's this little table of who beats what, this little pink table here. Okay, and then I can see to what extent I can make a sequence in which something beats something, which beats something, etc., etc. And if it can do that, then it's in a top cycle. And once I have the sequence, I can then figure out how to just put that sequence into a little agenda, just like this. And in that agenda, we make, for example, here F1. Okay? All right. Okay, so this is a picture. This is kind of fun. Say that A drops out. So, I don't know, maybe A just decides that they want to spend more time with their family or whatever. Okay, so A is not a player anymore. Okay. Which candidate gains the most? Which loses the most? Okay, let's go back to this thing. Look here. If A drops out, who wins? Who gets the most out of it? Okay, well, these folks, C, E, and B, don't really, they have no chance of winning anyway. It's got to be either D or F, right? So who wins the most? Well, look, if A is gone, A beat D, remember? So if A is gone, no one beats D, nothing beats D anymore, right? So D totally wins. I think that's right. Look at that. Yeah. Now we have this picture. Okay, now D beats F, and in fact, D isn't beaten by anyone. And the other name for that is if you're not beaten by anyone, it means you beat everyone else, and that means you're the Condorcet winner. Okay, if you're the Condorcet winner, that means you truly are undefeated, and then the top cycle is just you, right? Because you can create that sequence: D beats F, which beats E, which beats B, which beats C, for example, right? And no other thing, right? There's no other way to create a sequence, for example, for F. F would not beat something which beats something which beats something which beats D, right? Because nothing beats D, right? So in this case, the top cycle is D. If there's a Condorcet winner, then the top cycle is just the Condorcet winner. So when A is gone, the main winner is D. This sort of makes sense, right? If there's only one team which beats you, you gain a lot if that team like goes to another league. Okay. Anyway, so the big conclusion here is kind of what's the most effective and subtle form of power, and there's lots of different kinds of power, including like bribing people or like forcing people at gunpoint, whatever. So you can force somebody to do something against their will, but the most effective and subtle way is to kind of structure the situation so that they want to do what you want them to do. So in other words, instead of trying to go against what their wishes are or change their motivations, rather you structure the situation so that when they pursue their own goals, that is, they're acting according to the beliefs and the preferences they already have, then you get what you want. Yes, in other words, you're taking advantage of people's motivations as opposed to trying to change them or affect them. Okay, so this is kind of the most effective and subtle form of power because you're not really changing people. Rather, you're structuring the situation so that when they do what they want to do, you end up getting something you want. Okay, so in other words, you use their will instead of going against it. And so this is exactly what agenda setting is. Agenda setting is kind of a political skill in which you look at the situation, you try to figure out how people are going to vote, and then you structure the vote such that when they do what they want to do, you end up getting your desired outcome. Okay, so this is what agenda setting is about. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Okay, have a good Thanksgiving. Okay.